I want to welcome everybody back to the One-on-Ones podcast on the Field of 12 Media Network, presented by BetRivers SportsBook. It's time for episode 7, talking ACC football. I'm Harry Douglas, and I'm joined by Coty Sensabaugh. We are going to discuss some of last week's games, players, and this week's matchups as well. Now, heading into last week, we had 2 unbeaten teams in the ACC. Now, there's only 1. So that's the first game I want to start with, Coty. Louisville versus Wake Forest. Malik Cunningham versus Sam Hartman. And this was a matchup, man. I remember back when I played in the ACC, when I played against the ACC team when I was in the Big East in the Orange Bowl. We played against Wake Forest. That was a big matchup. Our first BCS Bowl win. Yep. You know your boy hit him. I hit him for 10, 165.
Yeah, you
10,
went 165.
Crazy. Little Orange Bowl record
back to North Carolina.
Yeah. To go going back to Winston-Salem. But, man, it was an Orange Bowl record until I think Sammy Watkins from Clemson
against Ohio State
actually broke it then. So I had a little rain for a little while. But let's get back to the game, man. What's some of the things that you've seen transpire in this matchup? Because it was stuff all over the place in this game for me.
It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of competing. But I think I texted you at halftime, the bonehead plays that Louisville was making in a game of that magnitude when it can be one possession. I knew they was going to come back to bite them. So I had a coach that I played for, and he always talked about the 4 minutes, the last 4 minutes of the half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And those last 4 minutes, hell, it might not even been 4 minutes of the first half with you guys. It was maybe the last 2 minutes with the muff punt and then the pick that y'all could have had. I don't remember what number it was, but y'all should have had a pick. Went through the guy's hands and the receiver ended up making a hell of a catch. His concentration was on 1,000. Just little plays like that came back to bite y'all. But being honest with you, bro, that's your boys. I got to give you the honor. You tell me what's on your mind, because I know that was a tough one for your guys, because I thought y'all had it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, in that game, man, it was so unique. And it's like this little rivalry going on with Wake Forest, because I think it was back in 2019. It was like a shootout as well. Like, you know what I mean? Whoever had the ball last with enough time on the clock was going to win the football game. And in 2019, that was Louisville. You come to this game, I was like, dang. And I said when I was watching it to Jason Fitz, I say, Fitz, whoever had a ball last going to win this game. And literally, Wake Forest had the ball last to win the game. I know it was some seconds left when Louisville had the ball actually technically last, but they didn't have enough time.
They didn't have Tom Brady on their sideline, man.
Nah, Tom Brady wasn't over there.
Right.
For me, man, it's like you just talked about the end of the first half situations. You brought up that. I want to bring up another one. So Wake Forest has the ball at the 1 yard line, right? Well, 4 seconds left on the clock. They're in the shotgun and they run a run play. I don't know how in the hell they get 1 second left on that clock to kick a field goal before halftime. But you know what? I do know. The game was in Winston-Salem. The game was at Wake Forest. If the game was at Louisville, that thing would have said 0, ... 0, 0. Let's go on into that half. And that had Coach Satterfield very, very upset. But like he said, that's not the only play that caused Louisville to win that football game. There was a lot of plays left out there on that football field. But I think the back and forth was unbelievable. Louisville, at the end of the day, they had an opportunity to get a stop at the end. You had an opportunity to stop Wake Forest from going down and winning that field goal. And I got to give a shout out to Jaquari Roberson, man. He's one of the best receivers in the ACC for Wake Forest. Had a good game. Taylor Moore, he had a good one. A.T. Perry, he caught that touchdown before the field goal. Remember when Sam Hartman was scrambling, and I was like, "Dang, tackle him, Louisville, tackle him!" I think it may have been like third down, down in the red zone, and they could have actually held him to a field goal right there, but he scrambled and got a touchdown. So I got to give credit. I got to get credit. Bless you. I got to get credit where credit's due. And like I said, man, when you have all those plays that could have went your way and they didn't go your way, then you can't just blame it on the clock at the end of the first half. But I thought Malik Cunningham played a good game, went 19 for 26, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 46 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. I thought Sam Hartman had a good game. He threw for 2 touchdowns, had an interception, but when his team needed him the most, he propelled them down the football field to get in field goal range to kick the winning field goal. So my hats off go to them. And we're sitting here, and they're the only unbeaten team left in the ACC.
And I want to go back to the first half when you guys, in my opinion, had the momentum and everything going your way. Malik Cunningham runs the ball, and I think it was a linebacker for Wake Forest. He was the second guy that finished him. He basically drug his nuts on Malik Cunningham's helmet, and he got up with like the black pebbles from the turf in his eye. I don't know if you remember that play.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to come out, and they had to check him out, and it was a third down play. Malik Cunningham ended up coming back in the game for that third down play. But after then, the momentum that they had, because hell, Louisville was driving up and down the field on Wake Forest, and they couldn't do nothing about it. Wake Forest came out strong, driving the ball and scoring. But I think Louisville had one, if not two, drives on defense where they got Wake Forest off the field. Yeah. And y'all's offense was rolling. And after that tackle, Cunningham didn't get hurt, but he came out for a second. And it's like y'all lost y'all zen and y'all rhythm. And
yeah, the mojo was gone.
The mojo was gone. I don't think they ever fully got it back. And once again, you know, you don't want to blame a whole game on one or two plays. But hell, we know in football, momentum can take you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, sure can.
So, but it was a hell of a game. And shout out to Wake for being the only undefeated team still in the ACC.
Yeah, man, I feel the same way. It was a good game. Now I want to go to another game, a game that I know you was watching very closely too, as well as myself. Yo, Clemson Tigers versus, at the time, undefeated Boston College. Boston College is not undefeated so much more. Now, Clemson, I think their defense, man, secured a victory for the Tigers. Late in that game, the defense showed up on a 4th and 9 situation, remember? And tackle, I think it was Zay Flowers at 8
Pushed
yards.
him out of bounds.
Right. And then backup quarterback for Boston College, Dennis Gressel, struggled in that game. I thought he struggled a little bit in that game. Had 2 interceptions, and Clemson scored 6 points off of those interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Boston College was driving and got the football to the 11-yard line.
I was nervous, Harry.
Bro, I just knew Boston College was going to score a touchdown, but the next thing you know, I see this football going all kind of places. And the center, Alec Lindstrom, actually is one hell of a player. He's going to be a damn good player in the NFL. His brother, Chris Lindstrom, starts for the Falcons, starts right guard for the Falcons. So he can play the game of football. It's in his bloodline, but they weren't on the same page. But that's not the only time it happened during the football game. So that's the thing that killed me. I thought Kobe Pace, running back for Clemson, had a good game. Wide receiver Joseph Ngata had a good game. But the offense still sputtered for me, right? They were 3 for 13, 3 for 14 on third downs. They still sputtered. Boston College dropped from the land of unbeaten. But I got to give respect where respect is due. Clemson had all kind of people go to missing from that game. And we even texted about this.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter that Boston College had a backup quarterback. They still had an opportunity to win the football game.
Right.
But I got to bring up one play, Coty, because one play is really bothering me. It is 3rd and 2 for Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive coordinator decides he wants to send a corner blitz. The corner is clearly offsides.
Allegedly.
It goes ahead of the defensive end.
I've never seen that before, bro.
And they end up getting a sack on the play. And the quarterback, Gressel, was looking like, did y'all not see him outside? Because everybody watching the game, but y'all seen this guy outside. Absolutely. And I actually thought that kind of messed up a little momentum too, because I think if Boston College gets that first down, that game is a different ball game. It may be a different ball game. But what did you see about that? Come on, refs. Y'all got to do better now. Now, the damn man was outside.
On that one specific play, man, I've never seen anything like that in life. I've done a few corner blitzes. I had a few sacks in the NFL, and I never rushed in front of the defensive lineman. So I don't know what the hell they was looking at.
Bro,
but
it was crazy.
Something you touched on, I think, was the biggest thing in the game. I think Zay Flowers is the best receiver in the ACC. And I think until that last drive, for the most part, Clemson's secondary and pass rush, they took him out of the game.
What my handcuffs at? I think I got something right here.
I got to give it up to that secondary. It was a total domination into that last drive. And some of those catches, they were playing deep, just trying not to get beat deep, give it up short. And once again, a lot of times in college, you see these offense that are fast paced. They're trying to just hustle to the line. They're trying to outpace you. They're trying to wear you down, and they make mental mistakes. If I'm Boston College offense this week, only thing you need to work on is quarterback from center exchange. That's it.
The stuff you work on when you're in Mighty Mike.
That's all they got to work on, man. That's it. Crazy, but I got to give it up. Without their 2 interior D linemen, 2 of the better ones in the country that are 2 young guys that are stars, they were missing both of them, and they still held Boston College run attack to, I think, 47 yards. I was heavily surprised by that because I thought we were going to struggle in that area. So to see those guys rise to the occasion was a beautiful thing. Not only because I'm a Clemson fan, but just loving the game of football. You love to see young men who don't normally get an opportunity and rise to the occasion in front of the whole world to see, because it was prime time. You know what I'm saying? It was Saturday night. It was prime time. So that was exciting to see. And one more thing about Clemson defense before I take it to the offense. I got to give it up to my man, Xavier Thomas.
Yes.
He came in as a highly recruited cat out of high school, had a hell of a freshman year, had some ups and downs in between. And now this year, he's playing at his peak level, and he's making himself a lot of money, and he's showing everybody. He's not only shutting them up, because there was a lot of negative talk about him, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
He's showing everybody at the next level what he's capable of and why he needs an opportunity next year on Sundays. You know what I'm saying?
True story.
Now I got to get to this offense. Whew. I want to first off say it was a blessing to see that run game get going.
Yeah. Between
Pace and Maffa, I think is how you say my man's last name. To see those 2 go back and forth, Pace lead the charge, that was awesome to see. I don't think there's any question whether Will Shipley's playing or not, who should be the number 1 guy. And that's not a knock on Will Shipley, but I think you got to keep Chase as the lead dog. You know what I'm saying? I think he had a rush for 59 yards. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the longest play on offense Clemson's had all year, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Big Cinco, I got to give him credit. He missed some throws, but he made a lot of throws that was right in the receiver's hands. And as a receiver, you know, those were more than catchable balls. Hell, he hit some of them.
Catch them.
He hit some of them in the numbers, and he hit some of them on the face mask.
Got to catch them.
Speaking of losing guys, it was also awesome to see on offense how guys that normally don't get an opportunity step up. Clemson lost their best receiver, Ross. I think he had a concussion. They also lost a tight end on a targeting special teams play. But
Galloway, right?
Nah, he was out for injury. The other guy, 86.
Oh, Davis.
Yes. I can't remember his name, pardon me.
Yeah.
But to see those other guys step up, it was awesome to see Nagata step up. And I don't know if you remember, but he had a catch on the sideline where he took that joint off his toe. It was I can't remember if it was tipped or what happened, but that ball was literally this close to hitting his toe or hitting the ground.
One of the hardest catches too.
Because momentum is taking you and everything. And going back to that Wake Forest Louisville game, a Wake Forest guy had a chance to make a similar catch. It wasn't as low, but he was reaching out for it, and his momentum took him, and he had it. And as he was falling down, he dropped it. It was a big play for Wake Forest that didn't happen. But to see him make that catch, it reminded me of guys I played with at Clemson, DeAndre Hopkins and Sammy Watkins, who have 2 of the strongest hands that I've ever seen, especially Nuke. You know what I'm saying? If it hits his hand, it's there, it's stuck. But to see those guys rise to the occasion, and when I read the presser after the game, what I heard about Big Cinco and him staying on the field, getting those extra reps in, that tells you everything you need to know about that young man. And that Clemson's offense and their program is in great hands. It's not clicking the way we want to see it right now, but damn it, a W is a W.
And they building. They're building.
They building, man. They building. And I love the will of that team.
I gotta ask you about this though too, because you know that Dabo got a little rowdy at halftime a little bit. Dabo got a little rowdy at halftime, and he said some things.
I tweeted about it.
What do you think about Dabo in his little speech at halftime?
Man, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said he feel like they playing 14 against 11, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, hey, listen here, bro. One thing I can say about Dabo Swinney is he is going to be no filter and he is going to speak his mind. I didn't agree with it, but I think it's just the pride and the love he has for those young men. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, he gonna ride for his no matter what.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
And you can respect that. I can respect that.
Absolutely. What was your take on it? Because when I seen it, I had to rewind the TV. I thought I was tripping.
No lie.
I thought I was tripping.
I thought I was tripping too.
Right.
I said, dang, maybe Dabo ain't watching the same game I'm watching.
Like I said.
I thought I was tripping. I said, maybe Dabo ain't watching the same game I'm watching. You know, but I'm going to give him a pass. I'm going to give him a pass.
Right. But, man, that was a sight to see, especially to see them take Zay Flowers out of the game because he's as good as it gets in college football. And just the fact that they was able to take him out of the game, that shows what that secondary and defense is capable of. And as a former D-back, that was a beautiful sight to see because, I mean, shit, he can ruin your whole night if you're not careful.
You better believe it. Now, I want to ring the alarm. Bring, bring, bring. Somebody got their first win in the ACC. Bring, bring.
Right. Been a long time coming.
Florida State, man, defeated Syracuse to get their first win on the season. And I'll tell you right now, Florida State don't give a damn how a win comes. They needed a win. I got to give a shout out to quarterback Jordan Travis. He got put back in the starting lineup. He had a decent day. The Noles as a team rushed for 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he had 100 of those yards himself. Mm-hmm. He also passed a Florida State legend in Charlie Ward for the most rush yards by a quarterback in FSU history. That's big. And for people who don't know or understand who Charlie Ward is a former Heisman Trophy winner. Charlie Ward won a national championship. He played at Florida State from 1989 to 1993 under Bobby Bowden. I grew up watching Charlie Ward. Right. I grew up watching Charlie Ward, and I wasn't even a Florida State fan, but I love me some Charlie Ward. So that was big for him. And it's good, man, to see Florida State actually get a win under their belt. And that last drive that Florida State needed to go kick a field goal to win that game, man, Jordan Travis ran for 58 yards on the final drive, setting up that field goal kicker, Ryan Fitzgerald, to hit the game winner. So shout out to Florida State, man. Listen, we're not just gonna talk about you when you do bad. We're gonna talk about you when you do good as well. So I want to send my praises to Mike Norvell in the Florida State program for winning their first game on the year. Bring, 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 bring.
And I think we also got to give it up to Florida State defense, man. When it came to money downs, they was on fire. They held the Orangemen to 2 for 12, I think it was, on 3rd down, and 0 for 3 on 4th down. Hell, that's winning football. I don't care what you do on offense. If you do that on defense, you got a chance to win. So shout out to Florida State.
You know who I like on Florida State defense, and he didn't have a sack in this game, but I think he's one of the top players who has sack in college football. Is Jermaine Johnson, transfer from Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Man, he's playing some damn good football this year for them, and he's making a lot of money when it comes to that next level by his play. I think him transferring. I'm just thinking about Georgia. Damn, Georgia. This man transferred from Georgia. Georgia had some other guys transfer, and I'm like, boy, Georgia would have been. They're already unstoppable, I believe, in my eyes. But goodness gracious, Jermaine Johnson. Hey, man, you gotta do what you gotta do. Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with BetRivers yet, now's the time because they're offering $250 match bonus for your first deposit. What sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Play instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With football season kicking off, get in on the action by going to BetRivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. You have a gambling problem, please make sure you call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, the next game I want to get to, I thought was a good one. Happened earlier in the week. UVA versus Miami. Yes, another game that came down to the wire. Now, yes, Coty, let me tell you how crazy this game was. The first 11 possessions in this game, let me tell you the first 11 possessions. A punt by Virginia, a punt by Miami, a touchdown by Virginia, a punt by Miami, a punt by Virginia, a safety against Miami, a fumble by Virginia, a punt by Miami, a punt by Virginia, a punt by Miami, a punt by Virginia. I was like, damn, whoa. What is going on? Are we playing football? What's going on? But eventually, man, the scoring for both teams will pick up in this one. Now, I'm going to fast forward this game to the fourth quarter when it was 5:29 left on the clock in the fourth. Miami were down. They were down 30-28, right? Down to 30-28. Now, the offense was led by Tyler Van Dyke because their other quarterback is not playing right now. Cameron Harris, he did a great job. They did everything in their power to get their team down the field goal range. Right. Boom, they're there. Boom, they're there. I said boom. They're at the 16-yard line. They didn't set their kicker up for a glorious situation. For him to go out after he hit this field goal, he get to go out, probably have a few drinks or something. I don't know. Hell, I don't know what these college
anywhere
kids
on
do
South
nowadays.
Beach.
He gonna go on South Beach. You know what I mean?
Face card good.
Face card good. Misses the field goal. And all I could see from the Miami players and the Miami coaches and the Miami Hurricane fans was deflation. Everybody was deflated. To work that hard, man, and to lose on that kick. Now, is he human? Yes, he's human. But you have one job to do.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't no bogus field goal that you couldn't make. That ball was on the 16-yard line, so let's back it up 10. So 26 yards. We're going to back it up another, I think, about 4 or 5. So that was about a 30-something yard field goal in my eyes. You got to make that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you said. You get paid. Well, I mean, you don't get paid. Excuse me. I don't want to say that and get anybody in trouble. But, you're there to do one job, man. And for UVA, man, it's simple. If you score first, you win. if you go back to late in the year last year, I think it's their last 8 or 9 games. When they score first, they win. It's a simple formula, but it was good to go down. It was good to see UVA, who's a team who's been playing pretty well in the conference, not only get their first conference win, if I'm not mistaken, but get their first win down in Miami since 2011. And also, UVA is a team that I think can compete on the coastal side for a ticket to here in Charlotte to compete for the ACC championship. So it was good to see them go on the road and get a win. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not expecting much out of Miami. I don't see them. I don't see them compete.
Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real.
And that's not a knock, But the U isn't back. I don't even know if that still exists in today's times. And you hate seeing that because you look at Miami like Florida State, man. When Miami is winning, it's great for college football. But I mean, keeping it a buck, hell, you can look at Miami Stadium and see how they feel about the program. Hardly anybody in there. Half of the shit is covered up with tarps, like it's raining. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully De'Aaron King can get back healthy. They can figure something out. But I don't expect much from Miami.
Now I think the play of this game and one of the best plays in college football happened in the third quarter when Virginia quarterback Brennan Armstrong went back. And what looked like to be a sure interception by Miami secondary ended up being a unbelievable touchdown catch by, I think it's Dontavius Wicks, right? Dontavius Wicks, wide receiver for Virginia. And all I can say in my mind is that when you have a chance to make these plays as
gotta make them.
Miami's, you got to make them. And then for you to lose by 2 points and then that play resulted in a touchdown. You go back, man, you watch that film and you just shaking your head like, damn, I got to make that play.
Absolutely.
For people to think highly of me, for people to believe in me, for people to trust me, for the scouts at the next level to say, okay, he's that guy. I got to make that play no matter what. But the catch was unbelievable. I think it's going to be one of the best ones in college football this year.
Man, I had a coach say all the time, you never know when it's your time to make a play. When your number gets called, you got to make that play. Because think about it. Say there's 70 plays in a game. You may have 4. If you're lucky, you'll have 4 opportunities as a defender to make a play to change the game. You need those, because you can literally go from being just somebody that's out there to a hero. And for my young DBs out there, being honest with you, All you got to do is get your hand on the ball one time per game, whether that's an interception,
that's
a pass
it,
deflection, a forced fumble, or a fumble recovery. You get one of those every single game, you a superstar.
I agree with you, man. Now
You a superstar.
I want to move on to the next one. Now this team, I don't want to say it's surprising a lot of people, but they're playing some good football.
They surprised me, damn
Right.
it. I'm gonna say it.
Like, listen, Pittsburgh right now is playing some football, man, and Georgia Tech, who's played good the last 2 weeks, was a little disappointing because they got thumped by Pittsburgh, right? And
That's
the
been the story of the ACC all year, bro.
yes,
That's been a story.
And the quarterback wide receiver combo between Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison is must-see TV in my eyes. Now, Kenny Pickett right now is 4th in college football in passing yards with 1,731, 19 touchdowns, 1 interception, and completing 72% of his pass. Jordan Addison right now, the wide receiver, is 9th in college football in receiving yards with 524, 1st in receiving touchdowns with 9. But guess what, Coty? Guess who is the number 1 scoring offense in the country right now?
They averaging 52 a game.
52 points a game.
That's
Pittsburgh Panthers.
They surprised me, damn it. I'm gonna say it. And I was up there in the building with some of them young men. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know the Steelers and the Panthers, Pitt Panthers, they share the same facility. They eat lunch in the same building. Like it's all under one facility. So to see what that program is doing, you got to give it up for that quarterback, man. I think his coach said after the press, he didn't make himself a lot of money. You damn right.
Oh, he did.
You throw for 19 touchdowns and 1 interception at this point in the season, you keep it up. You might be the number 1 quarterback selected next year.
And I love how he's diversifying the football. It's not like he just, okay, I understand Addison is number 1 guy and he has 524 yards on the season. But remember, he has 1,700 yards passing already. So he's diversifying the football and getting the football to everybody. Man, I want to give a shout out to Pitt's defense, man, because they held Tech to 2 for 11 on third downs and created 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions. So Pitt now is 4-1 and looking to make some more noise. The Pitt Panthers are going nowhere right now. Them boys are coming at you. And if you're not solid on defense and have a plan,
good luck.
They're going to put them numbers up on you.
I think the coolest that I've seen from Pitt's offense this weekend was 11 people had a catch. That says everything you need to know about an offense. What? Everybody eats, B. Everybody getting a play. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
I mean, and if you can score 52, I don't care who you playing. You're going to be in the game, let alone if your defense is getting off the field on third down like that, man. 52 points is unheard of. And that's not a one-time thing. They're averaging that.
Yep.
And the sample size is what, 5-6 games now, depending on the teams and whether they've had an early bye week or not. Yep. Pitt Panthers is playing some damn good football. ACC, look out. Georgia Tech, man. You had 8 sacks last weekend. Barely had 1 this weekend. And I hate to say it, but this is the knock on every single team in the ACC. 1 or 2 weeks, they may look good, and then the next week they lay an egg. It's just
there's no consistency by anybody in the ACC right now, by anyone.
And it goes back to what we said last week. As a fan, you have to watch every single game because you don't know what the hell gonna happen.
Exactly.
Like you don't know what's gonna happen. But one thing's for sure, 2 things for certain. Pitt offense gonna score the ball.
Hey, you better come to play defense.
Hey, you can count on that. That is one thing that's consistent.
Yep.
I just want to let you guys know about Field of 12 Media, a brand new podcast and digital media network covering college football by the people that know it best. Brought to you by Shoot Your Shot Productions, the folks behind the Field of 68. The Field of 12 gives you insight into the game we all love by the people that have lived it. Trevor Knight and Bryce Petty covering the Big 12. Joshua Perry and Christian Hackenberger covering the Big 10. Yogi Roth and Terry Robinson on the Pac-12. And of course, we'll continue to be your go-to source on everything ACC football and more. Check the links below to find the rest of our shows. The Field of 12, where college football happens.
That's dope. Now, we have a big matchup, a big matchup in the ACC this weekend. I know Notre Dame is not in the ACC. They're independent. But Virginia Tech is number 14. Notre Dame goes to visit Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. Now, Virginia Tech is coming off a bye week, but they struggled the last time they played against Richmond. And then not before that, they lost to West Virginia. Now, Notre Dame's coming off their first loss to Cincinnati. Notre Dame has quarterback controversy. They have a whole bunch of things going on at the quarterback position. They don't know who they want to start. They don't know who they want to play. They don't know who's going to step up. They also have offensive line issues. That's not good. Now, I want to know, man, can Virginia Tech take advantage of the weak old line of Notre Dame? Justin Fuente and his team, I think they need this win. I think they need it, and they need it convincingly.
Man,
see the lines in this one.
Go ahead and read them off to me. What we got?
Let me see. I think in this game, what's the lines in this one? I got it somewhere. Where'd I put it at? Oh, yes. No, Notre Dame is favored by 1, which is about right. And I don't even know if I would put Notre Dame as a favorite. I don't even know.
Me neither.
Because
I gotta go with VTech, man. They at the crib. The quarterback and the O-line situation that Notre Dame is dealing with. And man, Virginia Tech is hell at their place. They hell at that place. They turn into a different animal, man. They bring out them lunch pails. They get
they better hope it's not a night game either.
I'm going with Notre Dame, not only because of what I'm going with Virginia Tech because of what Notre Dame has going on. Virginia Tech at home, and damn it, the ACC, we need this victory. And Virginia Tech had a bye week to prepare for them. So
facts, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up. So I think Notre Dame plays about, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 or 5 teams after they've had bye weeks. I don't know who made Notre Dame's schedule,
right?
But boy, that's brutal. To where you're playing
independent love, you know
Cincinnati
what I'm saying?
had a bye week. I think the week before, who they played the week before? I can't even remember. I think they had a bye week. Now Virginia Tech has a bye week. I don't know who made their schedule, but they trying to tell them you need to get on in the conference, I guess.
And for the fans that don't understand the importance of a bye week, you have coaches and personnel people that for Notre Dame, they may have already been watching Virginia Tech. But Virginia Tech's players have been watching Notre Dame for a whole week going into this week. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be prepared and should go out there and execute at a higher level because naturally, because of the schedule, they have more preparation.
Now,
who you going with?
I'm going VTech.
Yes, sir.
I'm going VTech. I'm going with that crowd. I'm going with them people. They got the number 14 team coming in the country. The last time a ranked team came to Virginia Tech, that was North Carolina. Now, I know it's not the North Carolina we was expecting coming into this year, but they was ranked to start the year, and that crowd was crazy to start off college football. That crowd was rocking. I mean, rocking and jocking and shocking. That crowd was rocking to that saying, man. I said, oh, they ready in Blacksburg. They ready.
They sent their ass home.
I think they're gonna be ready this weekend. Now, the last thing I want to touch on, because we both played in the NFL. We both played in the NFL, right? And we know how important leadership is. Not just amongst players, not just amongst owners, presidents, GMs, but amongst head coaches. We're gonna touch on a little Urban Meyer for a second, man. Now, I'm gonna give you my point of view. I think Urban Meyer, since he's gotten to Jacksonville, I don't think he's done things correctly just by certain hires. He brought in Tim Tebow, understanding Tim Tebow never played tight end in his life. Like, I don't know what made him think that was going to work out. And it's not a knock on Tim Tebow because I love Tim Tebow as a human being, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. The hire of the strength coach of Iowa, after he had the racist incidents going on, right? And then you come to this one, and then you come to this one. Well, he in them streets now. He in them streets. I know he had his establishment, but if you're doing what you're doing, you in them damn streets. You know what I mean? We call it streets, or we can call it streets. Streets.
SKREETS. He was in them streets.
He in them streets.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to see though, man, because you have a guy young like Trevor Lawrence, right? And you have these players who are putting their all in to trying to get a win and be successful. But then you have a head coach after a football game that don't even get on the plane with them. Like I know if I'm playing, that would have bothered me. And we just
I've never
lost
experienced that in my career.
Me either.
Yeah,
Me either.
that was new to me.
That would have bothered me. And the fact that now he has to gain the trust back from the players, and you've seen what these guys in Jacksonville are saying. Oh, he good. We laughed at him. This is this. Bro, how he gonna gain trust back? Like, I don't understand how he's gonna get that back. NFL locker room is tough, first of all, to even get respect and trust in anyway.
Because it's grown men.
Yeah.
Grown men. But
what's one thing that you didn't like? What's one thing that you didn't like that he brought up? What's one thing that you didn't like that he brought up?
I didn't like how he threw my Clemson guy under the bus.
What the hell TREVOR Lawrence got to do with this?
Yeah, like, listen. Trevor Lawrence got married. He had a bachelor party. I don't give a damn where he had the bachelor.
Hey, he tried to bring Trevor. Hey, don't mention my name. Trevor probably like, God dang, coach, don't be mentioning my name in this.
Listen, it reminded me of the Kobe Shaq situation. God bless him. You know what I'm saying? When he got caught up in that situation, he like, people do it all the time. People like who? People like Shaq, like, you don't do that. You don't cross those lines. And to me, that's top 5 funniest coach press conference I've seen. Because as soon as I cut that shit on and I seen him with them glasses and he had like the sad face that coaches have after
he couldn't even look in the camera the whole time, man.
And he looked like an elementary kid who had to walk home from school thinking about what they was gonna tell their parents when they teacher was calling the house to tell them how to be acting. You know what I'm saying? But it's like at the end of the day, I go back to what you said about not getting on the plane. I played 8 years in the NFL and I never experienced that in life. Why you couldn't fly down, and if you wanted to go check on something, fly back up. You played on a Thursday night. You feel what I'm saying? So that means you get back Friday morning, fly back out. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of times after a loss on a Thursday night game, we had to come in Friday.
Yes. So
I don't know how they running things in Jacksonville.
No, you're not mistaken. That's what most teams do, because you review the film. Exactly. And then at like 1 o'clock, you done.
Exactly.
You go in at 1 o'clock, you done.
Start mentally preparing for the next game. But now we got to come in and watch this film. We got to put this to bed. They call it a 48-hour rule or 24-hour rule, depending on who you're talking to. But that was just crazy, man. And like I said, it's us joking lighthearted, but the fact that you brought your franchise quarterback into it when he had nothing to do.
That man, you don't know. Now that man's wife may be like, "Hey, so what happened at your bachelor party? Like that coach got to bring you up. What does coach think was gonna happen at your bachelor party that he has to bring you up in his press conference? Now you putting him in situations with his old lady, but not only that though. I'm hearing rumblings that he didn't even address the team in a team meeting. Addressing these guys individually in position meetings.
Wow,
bro, you got to be 10 toes solid, better than that now.
And look at it from a player perspective, man. If my coach will throw me under the bus, and obviously I'm not saying Trevor did anything wrong or he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, it's just the fact that you shouldn't have brought his name up. Period.
The fact that you brought his name into that, what are you going to tell the people upstairs when y'all not winning? Because if you throw him under the bus in this realm, I know what you'll do in this actual inside the lines. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's a tough.
That man said, yeah, and I told Trevor, like when he told me he was going to his bachelor party, Trevor probably like, what the hell?
Right. People go on bachelor parties before they get married, men and women. You know what I'm saying?
What the hell you gotta tell Trevor that Trevor don't already know before he going to his bachelor party?
But like you said, bro, I take it back to the beginning. It's hard to gain trust of an NFL locker room.
Yeah. And
keeping it a buck, he hasn't, in my humble opinion, made the best choices since he's been down there. That's no knock on Tim Tebow, but don't let anybody ever, to the listeners out there, don't let anybody ever tell you relationships don't matter.
Oh yeah, they mean everything. They're more valuable than money.
Don't let anybody ever tell you that. So it's unfortunate to see, because I think Jacksonville has a lot of talent.
They do. They just
You know
got to
what
put
I'm
it. They got to put it together, add more things to it, put it together, and then I think they'll have a successful season. But right now, they're just not there yet. But it's so many distractions going on from this team. Like it's things here, things there, and they're brought by the head man.
The head weak, the body follow.
The head man in charge.
Man, you don't see Tomlin doing that. You don't see Belichick. You know what I'm saying? Hell, those guys are old coaches. Let's go to some of the young coaches. You don't see my man out there with the Chargers doing that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You don't see my man in Philly. You don't see my man in Philly doing that. You don't see Arthur Smith in Atlanta doing that. You know, like, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's for sure. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence, man. You stay safe out here, bro.
Hey, you stay solid out here, Trevor. Man, we got your back. We got your back. We got your back. But I know the first thing my lady would say is like, the hell coach bringing you up for? I don't know, baby. He crazy. I don't know, coach. I don't know what coach talking about. He crazy. Coach tripping. Man. You know, he probably didn't have some wine. He tripping.
Right. I'd have said, babe, coach hung over. I don't know what he talking about. I don't know what he talking about.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, man, that is episode 7 of the One-on-One podcast, man. We want to thank y'all for listening, and make sure y'all tune in next week, because there's no telling what we gonna come with.
Hey, peace and love, man. We appreciate y'all supporting our crazy asses, man. That's love.
Already.